Hello. Hello. I've just driven up from Birmingham, and tonight I drive back to Leeds, so that's an hour and 20 minutes of driving for every minute of talking I'm doing, so I better be good, eh? I also never write talks. I'm an improviser, so I've written this, and I need to talk fast to get it all in. So if you lose it, I'll put it on my blog, and that will be the subtitles. Right, we ready? Have you started? Go, okay. In 1935, it's called Re-enchantment in the Age of Digitization. In 1935, Walter Benjamin wrote the work of art in the age of mechanical reproduction. He was simultaneously a brilliant philosopher and a massive snob. But he highlighted two interesting things that happened when works of art can be reproduced. They lost their aura, and it broke the relationship between art and ritual. He had one big problem with reproduction. He saw photography and audio recording and film as poor documents of the real thing, robbed of the glory of the concert hall and the opera house. He doesn't seem to have conceived of recordings as anything other than a document of a live performance, but then nor had anybody else at that point. Rather than seeing it as a transformative change into something entirely new, he saw it as an incremental one in which the values of the past were watered down. What did he mean by aura and ritual? See, I'm talking fast. He saw accessible portable art as mundane. Art at home was never going to compare to a visit to the opera house. If you can have a print of the Mona Lisa on your wall, it becomes part of the everyday, or at least a slightly iffy photograph of it does. The ritual point is related. The ritual of art in an art venue is part of the aura, from ticket buying to getting dressed, to drinks at the bar, choosing your seat, the lighting, decor, venue, the journey to and from the venue, and carving out time in your day to go and do a thing, all part of the glorious ritual, which we still enjoy. What he failed to predict was 65 years of modernist capitalist responses to the questions of how to bring ritual and aura back in the age of mechanical reproduction. The re-enchantment of reproducible art happened pretty swiftly. Throughout the 20th century, the paraphernalia of the recording industry was made sacrosanct. Studios became hallowed ground at the time when the sound of a recording was as audible as the music recorded in it. When recording with a single mic, the arrangement of musicians and arranging musicians in relation to it, you need an amazing space to stop the drums from sounding like they were recorded in a warehouse. As the studio emerged as an artistic medium of its own, the equipment used in studios became the new religious relics, mythological desks and preamps and tape machines, not only for their sound, but for their performative qualities. After all, every mix was itself a performance before the age of automation. When this re-ritualizing collided with hypermodernity, it was manifest as things that are more expensive and massive are amazing. So things that are more expensive and more massive are more amazing. Hence stadium rock albums that cost millions to make and years to record. The economics of bigness sat very well alongside Western culture's fetish, modernist fetish of big things, and some amazing enchanting art came out of it for sure. But the enchantment of big media required exclusivity, a control of the media around the work, and a way of limiting the supply of art. An expansion of choice might be good for culture, but it's not good for people whose business relies on a monopoly. When the economic proposition around art practice is that you bank everything on the possibility of global success or bust, any quest for sustainability on a smaller scale is revolutionary. Just as Benjamin failed to see the recorded media age as a distinct experience from the era of singular artifact or performance, so the shift from the physical scarcity of the reproduced recordings to the age of digitization was wholly misunderstood by those with a vested economic and cultural interest in the industries around physical media. In the physical media age, shopping became the ritual. That was how it was re-ritualized. I think I'm going to ditch this because I'm going to run out of time. The rituals of the recorded media age were putting vinyl on a turntable, going and buying it. The ritual of stuff, materiality, became part of that. With digitization, that the ownership of that entire process of discovery, of making and producing all of that stuff disappeared because of this. There we go. I actually referenced one of my own slides. How brilliant is that? The cost of making art became orders of magnitude cheaper than it ever had been before, and involvement in the production of art increased exponentially. Millions and millions more people were involved in making beautiful art. But how do we turn the mundanity of access to everything for free, which is what that was, BitTorrent, into something that isn't mundane? What big media have done is they've tried to turn X Factor into the ritual around it, hence him. That we turned watching TV into a ritual. But for the rest of us, the glory of digitization is that it actually favors the small. It favors the local, it favors the personal, because it's the conversation around the art, that the art, accessibility of the art is no longer something exclusive. The exclusive thing is the fact that the art is now the story or the document of a life within it. That's me at a house concert in California. The possibility to sit there and talk to the people who do it, to line this up, to accumulate all of this bizarre equipment that makes it possible. is all predicated on smallness. Bigness is no longer an advantage. It's a situation in which you need to lie and become Simon Cowell. And nobody wants to do that, not even Simon Cowell. So for the rest of us, we have this reduced economic barrier to entry and the opportunity to have a conversation outside of geographical space with the people who care about what we do and to make our art available to them in a way that doesn't require us to pretend that we're massively famous, because we've ditched that modernist view of bigness in favour of the virtue of the small. Have I finished early? I haven't I? I've actually stopped. There we go. So the re-enchantment of art. Let me just finish in summary. There we go. That was taken at small is beautiful. The re-enchantment of art in the age of digitization has happened because of smallness, not in spite of it.